You guys are amazing. I would have left. I would have been like, no, I'm not sticking around for 10 minutes. Well, you have to call your darn internet provider. Okay. Hopefully I'm live right now. There is an issue with that line in that tree. And we've been telling them. And anyway, they're going to come out tomorrow. Woo, they're going to come out tomorrow. But that probably means is that I'm going to lose internet. And who knows if I'll even be able to do this whole project. But we'll just try one more time. If it crashes on me again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plan on doing this tomorrow after they're done fixing it in the evening sometime. Okay, so let's just get started since we're really way far behind now. And I'm going to do the first real simple one, and we'll do it on a regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. All right, and I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way, which if you've got a cutting machine that will cut out the circle or the square or whatever, do that. If you have another way of getting that, whatever, like this one is a circle, okay, and this one is a square. So whatever shape, whatever kind of shaker you want, and if you have a machine, whatever, do that. But what I'm going to do is just, actually, I'm going to go square because square is even easier than circle to cut out, I think. Okay, well, maybe I'm not because I can't find my squares right now. We're going to do a circle. So just center your circle on and make a pencil line and then cut it out. And that's basically it. I'm just trying to center it the best I can. This to me is the very, very right. Aren't they awesome, Penny? They hung around. Can you believe it? And in between, the cats are meowing. It's going in and out. And then he had to call and they shut everything down. And I'm like, oh, Lord, why me? Why me? Why today? So I really hope this doesn't turn off on you guys. It does seem like we lost some viewers, but you diehards are still here, so go you! I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and then we're going to just build the shaker. Now, the one thing I don't personally like about doing it this way, because it's not a punch or it's not cut out, is that I feel like there's, you know, wobbly edges. You can cover that up by using die cuts that make circles, you know, really nice circles and stuff, or by using floral die cuts, or, you know, creating your own little, using digis and all kinds of stuff that you have laying around in your stash. I'm sure you guys have tons of stuff. And just decorating around the circle so that you can hide the imperfections that you feel are there. So now that I've got that cut all the way around, you can't even really tell that that wasn't cut. I can see the imperfections, but you probably can't. You are a determined bunch. Woo, we got 30 back. Hearts to you guys. I did do this in pencil, so I'm going to find my little eraser here, and I'm just going to go around the edges real quick because you can see the little pencil marks. And then that's it. Now, this is going to be the easiest, quickest way to do this. And you're going to need one more panel for the inside. So I'm going to take this, and I did say this was a regular A2 size card, right? 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So what we need for the inside then is another panel. And I'm going to cut this one down like just 1/4 of an inch smaller because we just basically need it to cover the shaker from behind. Now there's a bazillion different ways to make shakers, just so you know. I'm doing the one that I feel is the easiest and the quickest. Not necessarily going to show you 100 bazillion all the different ways, okay? So I don't want you to feel like, well, Jen, you know, you could have done, and you should have done, and, you know, coulda, woulda, shoulda. I certainly coulda, woulda, shoulda. All the time, all over the place. But this, I really feel, is the easiest way to do it. So here's our card. Oh, Dee, you made it too. Woohoo! So we're going to open it up, and I'm just going to flip it over here. Now, this is the piece that's going to go on the back, and you're going to, like, center it. Okay? And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to put a little piece of washi tape on here just to hold it in place Because if you want anything stamped on the inside, it's going to go on this right here. So you're going to want to line that up and either stamp it right now the way you have it laid down, or make a little pencil mark and then remove that so you make sure that whatever you stamped gets put in that space, you know, upright the way you want it, spaced the way you want it. Because if you look at this one, I didn't do that on this one. I just used my eyeballs, and it's sitting in the bottom left hand corner. Now with all that stuff in there, you can't really tell. It's way off, but it's super way off. This is the way to do it so that you don't have things way off. Okay, so let's just go ahead and use the ones that I have already set up for time's sake in case we get booted. Pardon me. And go ahead and just stamp this one the same as I did before. And all it says is just thinking of you, because I want to use these cards for my new school that I'm going to be working at. And so I'm just going to try to, this is clear, but it's all white, so I'm just trying to get this right in the center if I can. Hopefully it's pretty darn close. And you can feel free to stamp all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah, it's still not quite even, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that. And then I'm going to do the sentiment, and it says, thinking of you. Like I said, I have a new school that I'm going to be in this year. Nobody really knows me. And so I'm going to use some of my art to make friends, you know, to get to know people, let people get to know me a little bit. I think it'll be really fun to hand these out in a new place of work. So let me just wipe these off quick and move them off camera. And so that's where, so there, now we've got that all set, right? Then we're going to open this back up, and we're going to take this piece off. Be careful with your washi tape, because some of them are really sticky and they'll tear your paper even though they're washi. Okay, that's going to be our piece that goes on the back side. But the first thing we need to do here is we need to cover this with our tool. So this is what I do. Now, if you want to use your ATG tape, you can use your ATG tape, but I'm going to use, maybe I will use my ATG tape. I just feel like I need to be quick and get one of these out before I lose what we got here. So I'm just going to make a square of tape around this circle. Okay. Make sure that my tape touches on each side, because this is where my tool is going to go. And I'm just going to add some more tape here. If you're using, if you're going to use the tape, where did I put that? The sticky tape like this, just put a square of tape all the way around it so that it covers the whole, you know, because it's not circle. So make sure that it covers the whole thing. And then all you're going to do is just put your tool right over the top of this, just like this, and make sure that it sticks. And then we're just going to cut this off. Okay, and this doesn't have to look pretty because this is going to be hidden behind our extra piece. So just go ahead and cut this off. Now make sure that you have 1/4 of an inch on either side, or if you accidentally got your tape, like I think I may have just crossed that 1/4 of an inch line. If you have your tape in the wrong spot, just go ahead and make your inside piece a little bit bigger. I gotta open up a few more things here because none of the stuff that I had open previously is open anymore. See, now I can't go out any farther than this because it reset all my settings for my camera as well. So I apologize if I can't go out anymore. Hopefully you can see everything that I'm doing. I'll try to be mindful of that. Okay, so that's your first layer. We have the tool down. It's really hard to see, but it's there. See that? Okay, and then we're going to put down some tape again, because we're going to put our sequins in here, and then we're going to put tool over the top. But here's a secret I'm going to let you in on. If you don't want to do 2 layers of tool and mess around with that, I made this one right here with 1 layer of tool. I did the tape like we just did, the tool over the top, I sprinkled on a bunch of sequins, and then I put the paper right on top of that. Okay, so you don't even need a second piece of tool, but I'm going to show you right now how it goes if you do add that second piece of tool. So hang on to your tool and make your tape go all the way around it again. Remember, so you know I got a little bit of tape there. I'm just going to take my finger and run it back so it's not showing. Run your tape make sure that it touches all the way around. And that's because if you watched my other card shaker video the other day, that's so that none of the sequins and stuff that we put inside it are going to fall out. You don't want anything falling out. So now I've got tape all the way around it again. I'll see if you can, there we go. Tape all the way around. That doesn't have to look pretty. We're hiding this, folks. This is the part that's going to be hidden. So now is the time that you want to add your shaker pieces, your sequins. Now, if you don't have sequins, get some really fun paper and like one of these, because like I think we all grew up having one of these in our house. It's just a circle punch, hole punch. And just punch out a bunch of random colored stuff with this and put those in there. But I'm going to use sequins because that's what I have right here. And it looks really, really pretty when you do a little pinch of the under the sea sequins and a little pinch of the cotton candy together. So there we go. I just really love the look of those two together. They're just fabulous. Now I'm showing you how to put together the card. I'm not like going all crazy making sure that I took hours of time to like make sure the front had a pattern paper on it and the back had a pattern paper. My goal is to make sure that you feel successful in creating the card, because all the decoration and stuff comes from your heart and soul and the type of artist that you are. So that's just going to be all uniquely your own. So find that piece. Now, this is where we would put the second piece of tulle on if you're going for the second piece of tulle. So we'll go ahead and we'll lay this down. When I first made one of these, I thought there's no way that stuff's going to slide in that tulle. I thought, you know what, it's just going to stick to the tulle and be all crazy, and I thought people were nuts. But you're going to see, once we get this put together, that it does work. So now I'm just trimming this down again. You can pre-cut these by all means. I just feel like this is just easier and quicker in my mind. But if you are one of those type of people that wants to go, okay, my square is this by this, and you want to try cutting that tulle, it's kind of a crazy material to be working with. And so I just really think this is an easy way to do this. So here we go. Trim this all down on all four sides. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. And now, instead of trying to line this up and stuff, oh, and it should shake now. Look at that. It shakes all in there. So cool. I have tape on here, so I'm not going to close my card. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of running tape around this piece, okay? So this is going to, I'm not going to shut this all the way, but I do want to show you. If you tip this over, we've got the shaker made, right? There they're moving. This piece right here is going to go underneath and on the inside, like that, okay? So if we put that up like that, we're going to put the tape on this piece on the front, all the way around the edge of the card, so that it covers up all this stuff that's here. Now I really feel like this part right here is a little bit too far over. You probably can't see it because the tulle is really hard to see, but go ahead and trim your tulle down. Make sure that it's not hanging over like the 1/4 of an edge. If you have that issue because I cut this one 1/4 of an inch smaller, then please make your base that's going to cover all this stuff up bigger. I think this is going to work though. This looks pretty good. I could put some color in here now or whatever I wanted, or some glitter, but I'm going to leave it as is just so that you can feel successful in putting this card together, just in case we lose internet again. So if you're watching this archived, this is unlike some of my other videos because we got booted off twice. And so I'll probably just delete those unless I can figure out a way to combine them somehow. I don't know. Lives, it's tricky because these are lives. They're not pre-recorded. So I'll probably just end up just deleting the other ones and not worrying about it. And it's laundry day at the Evers. So the beep 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 says it's ready to roll. How many of you guys do laundry on Sundays? There's a lot going on in the chat, but I just feel like, whoa, I need to like get this out for you guys before I lose. And you know what? I probably won't even get booted off now for like the next 12 hours, but just in case. Now, I'm going to lay this down here. We want to make sure we get this. No, we're not. We're going to lay this down this way. We already know, or we should know, that this is in the right spot because we stuck it on there and we measured and made sure it was in the right spot. So now we should be able to just put this down, cover up all that yuck in the background, make sure that we get that evenly situated, and then give it a nice press all the way around. Make sure that all your tape sticks. These are really nice and flat for mailing too. Ah, Saturdays. Okay, so when we flip it over, check it out. Now we've got all of our shaker stuff in there, and it moves around, and we've got our little sentiment. Now, if you watch some of the really fabulous people who have been on YouTube for a long, long time, like Jennifer McGuire, she does this, and she has no white background, okay? And she does it where she's got little animals that are on here, and they look like they're floating on the tool. Those are really, really cool. So if you're into getting a lot more crazy with this, if you're a lot more advanced, or you feel like you want to take on something more, then go ahead and do some of those other fun things and look up some of those videos. But I just think this is really fun. Now, I could have, like I said, I could have went and did this whole part. You could have put, I wish I had more access to my things now. To make this wider view. But you could have made sure that you put patterned paper on the front here. We could go ahead and put like some flowers on here. I got some flowers on the side. They're really, really big. I wouldn't necessarily put this big of a flower on there. But if you had some little flowers and stuff, you could put a little spray of flowers around the edge. Okay? It would look really, really cool. Now, this to me is the simplest way to do it. Where's the other one that I did? This one's actually even simpler, and this is only one layer. This one actually even shakes better than the other one does. This is just one layer of tulle with card behind it, and then I just trimmed it down, and that was that, and colored it to match the sequins on the inside. So this could be actually placed or glued on a card, or you know, you could put a hole in here and use it as a shaker tag for on a card or gift or something. This one was a little bit more involved. I used a straight edge and a craft knife, and I cut them with that. And then I put, like Jennifer McGuire, I like floated him, like looks like he's floating on there. You can even put him directly on the middle of the tool. If you take one of, you know what would look really cute on here is one of my little cutie critter digis. If you do that and you flip him and then cut them out the same and put them back to back, then you could have him float on the center and you could see him in the front and the back of the card, and then you wouldn't need this extra panel. But since this is the easiest way to do it, this is the one that I really wanted to show you guys. Now look at the difference in this. Look how much these move compared to the one that I did today. This is an actual double layer. What I say, it's a double layer of tulle. I think maybe just I didn't put it on as tight. Let me check out where's our other one. This one moves around really well too. This one doesn't move around as well. Oh yeah, they move. Anyway, I really do want to show you one that looks like this, and one that we've got about 25 minutes or so. And I think you guys would probably be okay with me going a little over since we totally got cut off. I'm going to go ahead and do one with a craft knife and a straight edge in case you guys don't have any of these fancy tools. And then there's also a way to do these if you want to do them strictly with punches. So I want to mention that too. This one was done with a punch, but here's the thing. This edge right here, when you look at it, is really, really skinny because my punch only goes in that far, which is why I find it really frustrating to use punches. You really do need either a stencil like I used, like one of these, so that you can put it in the middle of the card, or a punch that reaches like the center of a card, or dies that you can cut out something from the center of a card. Because I did make this work. All I did was just punch this punch out. But then it's not centered because the punch hits the edge right there. So now the rest of the other three sides, you can make it, you know, as wide as you want, but there's always going to be one edge of that punched edge that is really, really skinny. I hope that makes sense. So this one I did do with a punch, and it is possible. And when you do that, then you can make them small like this, and you can, you know, make them tags, and then you can make them smaller so that you can just pop them on a card if you want. But I just wanted to go over that because I'm not going to make one with a punch, but that's what happens. So let's go ahead and do another one with a straight edge ruler and a craft knife. I ended up getting a new printer. So for sure you can order digis printed now, and if you order them, they're $1.99 for the digis to be printed, and they'll be printed on 110-pound cardstock, and they end up looking like this. You get 9 of them on one sheet, and that's about how big they are. So here, that's how big they are compared to my hand. That's how big they are compared to a card. Perfect for card sizes. Okay, so here's the elephant on there. I wish I could back out, but so there's the owl. There's Mooney Monkey. He's one of my absolute favorites. Anyway, so if you don't have if you can't print or you want them pre-colored, you can get these. You get 9 of them on a sheet. They're wallet sized and they're $1.99 a sheet. And you can get them either pre-colored or just black and white, whatever you want. Just wanted to let you know that because I would have said all this stuff like in the beginning and the end of my video, but I'm just like, I gotta just like go with the flow here because we got booted off. Like, just kicked me right in my booty, and then we had to call people, and okay, so I need something underneath here so I don't cut my mat because that would be terribly sad. I'm looking for my green cutting mat. It's hiding from me. I have my glass one, but that's just going to be really, really ultra irritating to you guys, so I don't want to use that one. And it's not where it's supposed to be. Alright, we'll just go ahead and use the glass one then. See, now you can see my little camera and everything. It's all good. So here's the issue with doing this with the straight edge. You have to measure out and decide like where you want this. I really, really much prefer using a template, something like this, where you can just plop it down and do that. That's why, because I'm too impatient of a crafter, that's why these look really uneven, and that's why I put the black marker around it, because it just ended up being really uneven. So anyway, let's just go ahead and try this. You can use like the graph on here to make sure that things are straight and whatnot, but I'm just going to eyeball it. Oh, another idea. How about if you just take one of these and trace it? That'd be cool. But you might not have this. So if you don't have that and you're going to have to do it this old-fashioned way, then I'm just going to wing it. I'm just going to try to do this as straight as I can. I'll even use the grids. You might not have grids. You might just have to eyeball it. That's okay. We're just going to go ahead and cut out some sort of a square around the middle of here. This is the actual most basic way of doing this, and I actually find it to be the most frustrating. So if you can afford at all to get some of those tracer tools and whatnot, it's just going to save you a lot of headache. Because this is totally doable, but and a lot of people really don't like using these craft knives either because it's kind of scary to use a knife. I definitely would not recommend doing this version with a child. So if you're doing crafty stuff with your family and your kids, don't do this one, or do the cutting with the craft knife for them. But if you can afford to get the Fiskars or any sort of tracer like this, that's definitely the way to go, in my opinion. It's always good to get the dies and stuff because it's a professional look and it gets the job done. But then you need the Cuttlebug or the Big Shot or, you know, a machine that cuts. And if you don't have that kind of budget, then this is why on my channel I like to show you these other elective ways of doing it. Paper trimmer, yes, that is another really, really good way to do it. What if somebody doesn't have a paper trimmer? Then we're back down to square one, right? Literally, no pun intended. So that's a crooked square. Somebody else said trimmer, so if you do have a trimmer, then you can put it in and you can make sure that this is totally unscripted, so if I mess this up, I mess it up. But let's say we put it in at 1 inch. Put it into your trimmer at 1 inch, so we've got 1 inch around, and then start at 1 inch, right, and cut it down to 3 inches, so it's a 2 by 2. And then flip it over and put that side in at 1 inch, and then cut this one from 1 inch down to 3 inches. And then all we have to do is just connect those two. So if I line them up there, we would cut from, and just use your eyeball to cut that across until they meet. Slide it back in and do the same thing. Now if you feel fairly confident with your trimmers to do that, that's an easy way to do it, and it's pretty quick. I didn't reach all of mine exactly, so I'm going to have to use my craft knife or scissors to just finish trimming that off. I'll use my little trimmer here. But that's another way to do it. So if you do have a trimmer, that way you don't have to think so hard about making it perfectly square. And there you go. All right. So now we've learned what, like 3 different ways of getting that square in there. My eyeball one is definitely not straight, but it's straight enough for a handmade card, right? Nobody would know. This one we used with our trimmer. Not much to it. All you have to do is just measure both of your sides in and then decide how big you want that to be. So I'm going to move this one out of the way, and we'll go ahead and we'll work with this one that I did that was handmade. And we would basically do the same thing as we did with the other one, right? Yeah, I think so too. Like, somebody said that tulle is cheaper than the acetate. I had a little cover on this that held this all together, but I couldn't get it back in. And this was a whole roll from Goodwill for, I don't know, like 25 cents, 75 cents. I don't remember. But a lot of people will buy this stuff for their weddings and then realize they don't need it. And then it's gone in a garage sale or at Goodwill or something. You can pick it up really, really cheap. So this one, it would look pretty much like this one. And okay, so here's the deal. How I got this pattern paper on the front is I cut it just slightly smaller. And then I lined it up with this, taped it down, and did an outline so that I could cut it again. So that means you're doing 2 cuts. You have to make sure they line up, and if you don't have those fancy dies and stuff, then you end up having maybe an edge that isn't as perfect as you would want it to be. But that's why I did the black marker around the edge, and I literally hand did this. I didn't use any fancy tools to do that. So I'm going to try to do that with this one right here by adding on a piece of pattern paper to the front of it. And let's just pick one from here. This is, I really like the look of this one because it matches like my autumn ones. So we'll go ahead and use that color today. And so basically this is, you know, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. Let's go ahead and cut that first. And then I'll show you how I kind of match that up. Yeah, I'm not going to take a lot of time today to talk to you guys about my store or Patreon or anything like that. I just feel like since we got booted off, I just want to get out all the main stuff. So if you want to check out the chat, I mean, if you're watching this archive, you're not going to be able to see the chat. But if you are in the chat, you'll be able to see the ladies who are doing the moderating at this moment. putting out some ideas here. All right, I'm going to make this just a little bit smaller than the full size because it makes it easier to put that on the front. So I'm just going to cut a small bit off of each side so it's not going to cover the full thing. I'll have a little bit of white going around the edge of it all. Okay, so I feel like I'm jumping around a lot, but like I said, I want to get all of this in here. Now, this is going to go on the front. I'm going to line this up. Now, if you look, there's a little bit of a white all the way around, and it's not perfectly cut. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that if you're going to do this, that you tape this down, okay? Make sure that this paper right here is not going to move when you open up the card. And it did. I'm going to tape the bottom too. Where's my roll of washi? Tape the top and the bottom because you don't want this moving around. I'm really sorry if I missed some of you newbies that are in here. I want to just say hello to everybody. Thank you guys for coming, spending an afternoon on Sunday with all the technical difficulties. Appreciate you guys being here. And since we have just a second here, this is my patron list. So thank you guys. These are all the people that make my videos possible. Thank you everybody that's on that list. I just wanted to throw that in there because sometimes I don't get around to that. And just in case, you know. So here we've got our card. It opens up like this. We already cut our window. This is the color of paper that we want on the front. So we're just going to go ahead right now and just open this up and we're going to trace. Or you could put it in your trimmer and trim it. Maybe I'll do that. So you're either going to trace it with your pencil and cut it out. Or if we can get this to go in our trimmer, we could maybe get this trimmed out. I don't know. Let's try. Oh, I closed the window because I was competing with the sound of the neighbors. We have some younger male neighbors who have people over a lot. And not that I'm against that. I'm not at all. But then I have to compete with that noise. So I just shut the window and now it's getting really, really, really hot in here. Okay, so that was with the trimmer and did that work? It did. Let me just cut that last little piece off. Like I said, if you don't have a trimmer, it's no big deal. Now we've got our window. Do you see that? And then we can glue that onto the front. If you don't have that, you're going to want to go ahead and just trace that with a pencil and then take your tape off and then just cut it with your scissors. No big deal. You'll get the same look. So now I'm going to remove the tape. Okay, move that to the side. Oh, I gotta open that window, you guys. It's just too hot in here. But there you go. So that will fit. And it's got a little bit overlapped, so you can see that there's a little bit on the inside. But I don't mind that because there's gonna be that tool, you know, spaced in between there. So this is where I put the tool to hide it on the other card. If you want something floating, okay? So like this one, I put the whole back on, all right? The one that we just got done doing, I'm gonna open that window quick. Where's that other little flat guy? This one that we did, we put the whole back on, right? On the inside, you'll see that there's the whole back. This one, if we want to hide the tool and we want there to be a floater, we would put our glue right here and our tool right here, and then we'll sandwich this piece of paper over the top of it right here, and then you won't see it on the front or on the inside. Okay, so we're going to try that one. We're going to give that one a try. I'm just going to set these pieces here and open the window. I'll be right back. Alrighty, This one should look pretty cool. And this will be the last one I make. So it's almost 3, and out of respect for your time, if you have to go, go. Thank you for coming. I will definitely archive this part. I'm glad that we are actually making it. And then I'm just looking to make sure this all matches up and it looks pretty good. And if not, stick around because I'm going to finish up this card here. So to make this a little bit easier, cleaner, I'm going to go ahead and use the sticky tape this time and go around the edges. Oh my gosh, Hadassah says that I make things look really easy. I'm going to tell you what, you guys. I'm gonna give you the lowdown here. I really dislike making shaker cards. That's either going to help my channel or kill it right there, guys. But these are not, to me, the easiest things in the world to make. So if you're struggling, I hope that something that I showed you here today will make it just that much easier for you, because I have struggled with these. I mean, we're not all good at everything, right? And there are some things that I'm just not good at. And this, you know, shaker cards was something that I really wanted to do. I really wanted to get good at it. People were requesting them. They're just totally, like, fabulously crazy. Everyone loves them and loves to give them. So I did my best to, you know, learn the ins and outs of the shaker cards. Now, I'm not putting teeny tiny stuff in here, like glitter, like in the last one we did. So if you're looking to add glitter, make sure that you don't have any little holes like this. But my sequins aren't going to pop through there. Okay, my sequins aren't going to pop through there, so I feel like I'm really safe with where I have my tape here. Right? You know, I mean, Nina's laughing at me, but it's true. I mean, I'm not 100% guru, like born with that talent to make everything and anything. Sometimes I make 5, 6, 10 projects before I show you guys how to do it, because I want you guys to feel successful. And if that means that I have to be unsuccessful 10 times until I get it right so that you guys can be successful, I'm just checking this out. I do like the fact that I made this cut slightly smaller. You might want to keep that in mind. If you make that a little bit smaller, that helps out. You will see it on the inside though, but mine has a white background here, so it won't not even be noticeable. Now this one, I think I'm going to try cutting, like I said, I'm going to attempt to cut this about the size that I need. Who knows if I'll even be good at doing that, because this can be tricky to cut. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. It's close. It's really close. Let's cut some of this off. So if you're watching this archived and you missed the beginning, we got booted off twice because my internet provider is having an issue with the wires outside my house. Yeah, I might lose you again, but hopefully not. Now, because I want 2 of these layers, I'm going to go ahead and cut the next one too about that same size. I have so much of this stuff, I'm not worried about trashing some of it, so whatever, you know, I don't need, I'm just tossing it in the garbage right next to me. Because I have this whole roll, and I probably will never use the whole roll in my whole lifetime. Okay, and then try to put this on top just so I get 2 that are approximately the same size. That looks pretty good. So here we go. Before I used the whole roll and just slapped some on there and we trimmed it off, this time we're going to go ahead and just put that down on there. Oh, by the way, you can pull it up and remove it too if you don't get it in the right spot. Stick it down, pull it up and remove it, whatever you have to do. Get down on that. That looks pretty good. And then you're going to put your stuff on the top. But before I do that, I'm going to put my next round of tape down. so much nicer with that window open. I know it's noisy. I apologize that there's a lot of noise coming in that window. So putting this down here at approximately the same spot we did before makes it a lot easier. You don't have to think too hard. Just follow the lines. And this tear tape, you can get this in my store. This is really nice to have too, because it just tears with your fingers. You don't even have to have a scissors. Okay, now before we lift that off and put the next part down, we're going to put our sequins in here. And we're going to use this color this time. Right? Don't put glitter in your tool, guys. Oh, Lordy. I'm not going to have any kind of a saying in here. This is just going to be a floating one. I did not prepare an image, but off camera later on, I will probably add one of my digis to float in the middle of this, and then hopefully, guys, you'll be able to see that later on. I don't know. I probably shouldn't promise that because there's always so much going on here. You never know what's going to happen. But do, if you're new or you're not new and you've never joined, join the Quality Crafts Facebook group. Join that community where we inspire each other, because when I'm done here, I'm going to put a picture of some of these into an album, and that's where I want you guys to post yours. And I haven't looked recently, but I don't think there are too many people that were able to do those other little shakers, but hopefully in the weeks to come here, those that purchased those dollar holders will be posting some of their great creations as well. Now I can put a lot more in here, but I'm not gonna. I think that's plenty good for me. I'm gonna go ahead and take that other piece and put that down. Get that stuck down on there. Okay, and then we have to put this down. Now, keep in mind, this is smaller window, so if you put tape up to the edge of this one instead of this one, you're going to have tape on the inside that you're going to have to deal with. So don't do that if you cut it smaller. Make sure that you still keep the tape on this side. And I do think that it's sticky through there, so it'll hold around the window. So now what we do need is we need tape around the edge of this card. I'm just going to go ahead and use ATG tape because I think it's a little quicker. I am not putting tape around that window because, like I said, I think the tape coming through the tool will be enough to hold that in place. And if I'm wrong, well, then I'll have heck to pay, won't I? I think that this would be an awesome, awesome time to use the 1/8 inch sticky tape if you guys have that, but I don't have it. I only have the 1/4. What I'm saying is the 1/8 is like 1/2 of this. I have used the glue pen a little bit. I'm still playing around with it because I know people are going to have a lot of questions, and I want to make sure that I know how to use it before I show it to you guys. There is a learning curve for sure. The people that were complaining about it had reason to complain, but I don't think that it's anywhere out of the realm of it being a really useful tool. So I will be doing a review on that once I've had a chance to use it a little bit more. So now I'm just going to put this down on top here. Make sure that it adheres to all the tape. Now if I'm wrong and it doesn't adhere around the window, we'll see if that makes a difference. Like I said, my mistakes you get to learn from. So when you join in here, this isn't always a 100% polished channel where everything is perfect, and this is real crafting. Craft along with me, and I will always show you ways to be successful, but I will always show you ways that maybe aren't exactly. Look at how nice that moves around in there. Oh my goodness. And now we've got a nice clear window there. That is so cool. And on the inside, all you can see are those and that little tiny white of the paper because I cut it a little bit smaller. So it's nice and clean, right? Nice and clean. Oh, I'm really glad I finished that one with you guys. That one, I think this one's my favorite. And like I said, you can put, like, now I can do a little floating thing on there, or I could put a little vellum sentiment across the front, or I could put something down here. I mean, whatever you guys want to do to make this project uniquely your own. I show you guys how to make the project so that you can feel successful, and then the artist within you makes it uniquely your own as you decorate it and add things from your stash and things that you have to make this budget friendly. Now, there is a robot set linked, but not the set I used for this, because, man, a lot of stuff I use from my stash, and I wish I could. Being booted off changed all my settings. I can't zoom out for you right now. But this huge robot set right here, I got this on, like, what was it? Not Home Shopping Network or anything like that. It was some kind of website. And do you see on this side where there's holes to put this in, like a binder? This set, seriously, it doesn't have any name on it or anything, and I don't even remember where I got it from. It's like, it was like they were there and now they're gone. So I'm really sorry I can't link you to those, but a lot of times I use things that are in my stash that have been in my stash forever, and I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Use what you have. Don't feel bad about not using things that you've bought in the past. Don't have buyer's remorse. You know, I try to show you the tools and the things that are really necessary to have. And then I like show you, of course, things that are in my store, but they're not necessary. You could use anything that you have at home. Now, the stamp set that I did feature today, you can get in my store. You don't need it. You can use any stamp set you want. This one is the Just Saying stamp set, and I used the sequins in my store. Those, you can get sequins anywhere. If you have sequins in your stash, by all means use those. And the paper I used, that is just some paper that I got, I think, from Ginny Maxim way back when I won a giveaway, and I love it. It's just awesome paper. So use up what you have. Be budget friendly with all of your stuff. If you want to feel the passion, you can join us on Patreon. I know that's not for everybody, but I'm always very, very grateful and thankful to those of you who do. Definitely join us for this channel has a community of people that are over on Facebook in the Quality Crafts community group. And that group and this channel are 100% free always, okay? So never ever, right? Never mistakes, just happy accidents. Wink, wink. Never ever feel like you're obligated to spend money to craft. But this community, in order for me to be full-time, of course I sell products. I don't ever want you guys to feel bad that you can't purchase them. But the people that can, you're the ones that help me foster this community to keep on growing so that I can become full-time. So I hope you guys understand that this channel and the group and the community are 100% free to everybody. I want to touch lives of beginner crafters all the way through the advanced, bringing you really fun techniques and making sure that you guys feel successful and feel like the artist that you are. So without further ado, I think we're going to wrap this up. I'm really glad that I came back and that we were successful in having this whole thing done. Here's the one that we did in the beginning. Here's the one that we did second. And so these are the ones that have the whole backing so you can hide it. And then this last one that we did is the window one, which I think is my favorite. And I'm hoping that the way I made it today makes it super simple for you, and you feel like you can go out and make one today without any problems. Okay, so those are the ones that we created today. And don't forget to go over to our blog, because we are sponsored. We do blog challenges now, and you will win digis and stuff. So I would really I really think it would be fun to see a lot of you guys trying out for that. You just pick the theme. We always have like 3 themes going on. It's always like, I should know them by heart, but I don't. I have so much going on. I think this time is something like yellow or teal or something else. Anyway, there's always like 3 things to pick from. And then beyond that, it's anything goes. So if you pick yellow, it's yellow whatever you want it to be. A yellow bird or a yellow whatever. But definitely join in on those challenges, because you don't have to have a blog to join. If you want to know how to get on to the challenge without having a blog, join us at the Quality Crafts, because we will we will lead you to the link of the how-to video, or was it a how-to blog, whole post on how to do that. We're so glad to help you guys out and get you any of the information that you need. There's tons of people in that community willing to help you out. Definitely check out the shaker card that we did before today. Donna Joy, shake, 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 shake your booty. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, thumbs up on your way out. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you, June Lucas, for bringing that up. Thank you guys for sticking with me today. Hopefully we'll have that problem cleared up by Charter tomorrow evening so that Wednesdays and Thursdays live streams will go smoothly. And remember, I am always live Sundays 2 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, Thursday evening 6 to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then Wednesdays we're shooting for 5 p.m. Central Standard Time for the new series 10-minute card. Join us then, and I cannot wait to see you guys next video.